Hello, and welcome to this week's instalment of In Conversation. My name is Dr. Karl and Katherine. I'm the school's relation manager. Delighted today to be joined by Dr. Katherine Lloyd-Clark, who is our Assistant Director for Student Recruitment and Admissions. Hi, Katherine. How are we doing?
Hi, Karl. I'm really well. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Katherine, I want to focus today on IB results, which are coming out on the 5th of July. And the first question I have is, what happens next from the university point of view?
Okay, Karl, I'll answer that one for you in a minute, but I just wanted to say at the outset that we really value the IB and we really respect it as a qualification. At Exeter, we're really positive about the learning experience that the IB will have given you as a student, particularly the emphasis on independent learning. And also the ability to work across such a wide variety of subjects, both at higher and at standard level, and to juggle, such a workload. We feel that will equip you really well for your first year at university. So congratulations for making your way through the IB. It's a really wonderful achievement. So in terms of what happens next, when those IB results come out, provided you've given your consent to share, then that results data will be sent to us via the UCAS system. If you haven't given your consent, then it may be that your school or college needs to send your official IB results transcript directly to us. But for most people, that shouldn't be required. We would get the results via UCAS. And we then work on them. It'll take us a few days to work through that results file and make sure that we've got a decision for everybody. We may be in a position to confirm the place, provided all conditions have been met. That should be relatively straightforward if all of the conditions at institutional level and subject level have been met. If one or more condition has been missed, it may be the case that we have to ask you to wait for a decision, unfortunately, because we have to be fair to everybody and to make sure that we're not offering places early on a basis that would be different to how we would offer them to other people who've missed results in August. And that's really about the fairness situation. So in that instance, we'll let you know that we're going to have to hold your decision until August, and then it's a little bit of a waiting game, which I appreciate isn't ideal. It may also be the case that unfortunately you haven't met conditions at all, in which case, if we're your firm choice, your application would pass automatically to your insurance choice. If you've met their conditions, then that place should be confirmed. If you haven't met their conditions either, then it might be a question of being eligible for clearing and looking for a place through clearing.
Okay, so you've described there 2 or 3 different scenarios. When should students expect to hear from us, and how do they hear from us?
So results will appear on the UCAS system as soon as we've made a decision. So continuing to keep an eye on UCAS and looking at your notifications to see if there's been an update would be a really good thing to do. But all of our communication otherwise, Karl, will be via email. If there's something else that we need from you, we will contact you by email to request that. Similarly, if we've got some information we need to pass on, like the fact that we're holding your application or that it's been unsuccessful, then we will pass that on via email as well. And all of the information around joining the university, if your application is confirmed, all of that will follow on after the results confirmation by email. And there's lots of information for new students starting also on our web pages.
That's great. So for those listening to us today, what should be the key considerations they should be making when receiving those results?
I think really just figuring out, Karl, which of those categories you're in. Have you met your conditions, in which case you can look forward to starting university, thinking about what you're going to need to bring with you, what other arrangements you might need to make to travel. Of course, we appreciate that That's a rather complicated landscape at the moment. Some of our IB students may be international students who are also going through processes like, the visa application process. If that's the case for you, then we'll have been sending you information about those processes and how we can support you through them. If you've got any worries or concerns about making travel arrangements, then our international student recruitment team would be delighted to help you with that. So please do reach out to them. And they're also putting on lots of sessions for offer holders to help and support with queries about travel and arrivals. If unfortunately you haven't got a place and you find that you haven't got any place, neither your firm nor your insurance, then I would say the really important consideration, Karl, is to crack on with looking for somewhere in clearing. The fact that the results come out a little bit early, earlier than the main bulk of the A-level results, means that students with IB results can look for a place in clearing sooner than other people. So that's a really good thing to crack on with, and gives, a little bit of getting ahead of the game, shall we say, for IB students in the clearing process.
And when you say looking at opportunities through clearing, that's a matter of logging into individual university websites and seeing what vacancies are listed through those websites.
Yes, yeah. Universities, lots of us have got information available on our websites already for clearing, and we will be progressively updating those web pages with links to the programs that do have vacancies. Sometimes at the early stage, there can be more limited information about vacancies because universities are kind of holding on to see what happens in August. But always reach out and ask if there's a particular university you're particularly interested in. Check out its web pages, but always reach out and ask to see what the chances might be of a vacancy being available.
Okay. And Catherine, my last question for today is from the University of Exeter point of view. Do we expect there to be an increased level of competitiveness in relation to places in early August? And if so, what should students be doing to prepare for this?
That's really difficult in a way, Karl, because I think there's very little that students can do to prepare for that, other than to think through, a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. Always being flexible if things don't quite work out the way you hope is a good idea, and not being too fixed on one plan or one strategy. So I definitely advise that, thinking through what you're going to do if things work out as you expect, that's great. But also, what other institution would you consider in case they don't work out as you expect? But beyond that, the competition will be defined by what happens to the broader range of results from the 10th of August when A-level results are out. And we don't know at the moment what's going to happen there. We don't know whether, for example, there will be an increase in top grades as there was last year. If that's the case, it might mean that it is more difficult for us to confirm places for people who narrowly missed their offers. And it might mean that there are fewer spaces available in clearing. But again, for international students, we would expect there to be plenty of opportunity. And obviously, we're watching all of the government travel information really, really carefully, but we're very much hoping to be able to welcome our UK and our international students, to come to campus in September to have something of a more normal year. But there's a lot of uncertainty, Karl. I would say for students, the key thing is to focus on that flexibility and having a really good plan A, plan B, and plan C, just in case you need it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Catherine, for this great insight today. And thank you for listening. We'll be back again next week, so please do join us then. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone, and good luck.